I appreciate it. So a couple things that I wanted to go through today, and I really was trying to think back, what is it and how do I utilize BNI? How does BNI help me? How does it help me grow? How do I help educate my clients? And how do I help educate you to make it easier for you to know how to refer me? Okay, so going back through some past presentations, I think I can do a little bit better job, so hopefully I can clarify some of that today. When I stood up earlier, I asked you to think of about 2 questions. But real quick to start off, I want some people to name a couple big insurance companies. Just say them out loud.
State Farm.
Okay.
Nationwide.
Okay.
National.
What was that one?
Nationwide.
Okay.
Allstate.
Allstate.
USAA.
Okay. Anybody else?
Farmers.
Farmers. Good. They're across the hall today. And I excuse my handwriting. Anybody else?
Erie.
Good job. Okay, my purpose of this, so there are 6 on the board. There's over 1,500 in the state of Tennessee, okay? Erie Insurance, who I represent, is number 12 in auto across the country. So you've got a big boy State Farm who's number 1 across the entire country. Erie's footprint is 12 states, not 48. So to be number 12 in that realm gives you an idea. Our money's there. We're a 90-year-old company, founded out of Erie, Pennsylvania. So let me ask you this, why might people have insurance?
In case something happens, something bad happens.
Right,
You protect yourself or your loved ones.
right, so for a minimal cost, you protect a high asset, correct? Although sometimes that minimal cost may seem like it keeps creeping up on you and aggravates you, but there's a basis to that. Insurance, it pools together, all the money, all of your money pools together for his losses, for her losses, for everybody else's. Now yours, if you have a bad record, that changes a lot of that, okay? So that's important. How many people have heard of full coverage? What is full coverage? Right, so that's one of my biggest objections. If I call and I walk through a cold call perspective, and hey Shane, this is Robert with Erie Insurance, how can I help you? No, I got full coverage, I'm good. Well, what that full coverage truly means. So up here on the slide, which way do I go?
It's actually a PDF.
Okay, this is a particular one of mine itself. Full coverage means that you have comprehensive, you have collision, you have liability limits, you have uninsured motorists. And what that means, the state requires, okay, so over here, bodily injury, that 250, 500, 100, what that means, $250,000 the insurance company will pay if I hurt somebody. $500 for the entire accident and $100,000 for the property damage done. So if I take out a sign and take out your vehicle. What full coverage by the state of Tennessee says is that each one of these boxes is checked off, that you have something in there. You know what the minimum is for state of Tennessee? 25, 50, 15. How many of you have a car that's worth more than $15,000? Okay, so if you have one of these people that does have state minimum, but they got full coverage, it's going to come back onto you. So if you don't have the proper coverage and the right agent to work for you to make sure that you've got those matched up with your assets, you're going to be up creek without a paddle, to say the least. Okay, so why choose Erie? Why is this important that someone goes through these things with you? Well, you work hard for your cars. You work hard for your house. You work hard for your retirement, right? Those are things that you put away, every penny earned, every sacrifice you make when it comes to, hey, I'm not going to go out to eat tonight. I'm not going to buy this because I need that. You want somebody else that's going to have that or doesn't have any, come and take that. That's what happens in this world. So, easy things to look for. Easy questions as you're going into this holiday. We talked about holiday networking. So for me, it's big. I can talk to anybody, anywhere. A lot of my business is sold outside of the day-to-day transactions. 8 to 5. A lot of mine's after hours. A lot of mine during the day is managing my team, making sure they understand my values, my vision of where I want to go with the business. Simple questions. Do you know your insurance agent? Do you know yours? Do you know yours?
Yep.
Do you know yours? 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 Right. So y'all get the point. A lot of people do, but there's a lot of people that don't. That's a very simple question, non-intrusive. I do know mine, okay? Did I ask any of you that said you didn't know yours any further questions about it? No, I'm not gonna bother you, that's okay. You know them, you're happy with them, I'm okay with that. That's a very easy one to know. Does your insurance agent work for you? What do I mean by that? Does your insurance agent just call you up and say, hey, yeah, you're mad at the price, I got it lower, don't worry about it, it's $50 lower a month, we're good to go? Or do they truly work and go through and make sure that the insurance you have fits you properly? I promise you, every person in my office goes through that process. We take the time, we look at those things. A lot of these people do the same. Y'all name some big ones, and I can tell you from accrediting where they are and being part of some of these organizations, they do a lot of the same things, but that makes a big difference. That's what separates them and the value of that, having that person to be your go-to, just like your real estate agent, your mortgage person, your payroll, your IT. Those are things we don't know. That's why we're all here. That's why we refer stuff back and forth. That helps. Let me ask you this. How many times have you heard or yourself gone through an experience where your rates continue to change? Okay? And what's your typical reasoning?
It just happens.
Just happens, okay? That is a big one. So depending who you talk to in the office and where that comes from. Anybody else?
File the claim.
File a claim. Okay, so that does go into your insurance score. So it's important to know what creates your insurance score. I can go into more of that if you want to know what creates that. Set a one-on-one with me. It's too much time for today. My company with Erie has a product that says, I guarantee your rates will not change unless you change 3 factors. Your address, your drivers, or the location. So your home. So, well, that is the address. I do apologize. Or vehicles. So those things can put that over to a fixed side for you, which is important again for why tier 3s that are good for me, a CPA, a real estate agent, a mortgage broker. Why are those people important? Because those are people that are dealing with the finances. And when the finances come up and we're looking at those things, for the CPAs in the room, you're taking it from one side of the balance sheet over to the other side. So if you have small children, target market for me, they're not driving right now. I want to help those people, okay? How many people know someone that has a teenage driver that says, oh my gosh, I have a 16-year-old male that's about to come in and destroy all my credits, every savings I've ever had on insurance, right? Erie Insurance says, hey, we appreciate your business and your loyalty. And what we do with teenage drivers, let's say you have a son that's 2 years old, you sign up with me. In 14 years when they turn 16, I'm going to give you a 14% discount on that rate. Nobody in the state does that but us. So there's some added little details that these guys go through. They're very conservative of that. So rate lock is big for us, okay? That's one thing. Let me ask you this, another way for you to help refer me over the holiday season. You're talking, you're catching up with everybody's family. Everybody's trying to make a little extra money to pay for Christmas, right? What might you hear somebody say? Man, my son's just done this thing. You ever heard of this app called Uber? My daughter, my son, my nephew, I don't care who. That's an easy way. Those are perfect for me. Why is that? We're the only ones in the state of Tennessee that properly and legally insure them where the insurance coincides. Everybody else is being canceled for that. So those are some easy things to listen to. So quickly, tier 3s, anybody that you might hear from Uber, that might drive from Uber. CPAs, because they're looking at that balance sheet, and I can put those over to a fixed side. Real estate agents, they're always looking to save money, down payment, those type of things. Again, I can lock the rates. Same with mortgage, that kicks back into the financial advisors. As Aaron had mentioned earlier, they're looking to save that extra dollar. Where is it? $10 here, $15 there, $1,000 here. So all the little things help. So I've got 30 seconds maybe. So does anybody have any questions? I know I'd asked you for some questions before. I ran a little bit longer than what I wanted to. But does anybody have anything that's just dire that they want to know? Yes, Amy?
I drive other people around my car all the time. What happens if I have an accident? How are they covered? I mean, I know it.
If they're in your car and you're driving it, Great question. So that would go back under that second number. That first number is gonna cover per person. So if it was just you, that second number is gonna cover the total in the accident. So if you have 4 people in there, that second one's gonna be your max amount for that paid out.
So I look at my policy, that's, okay.
Right, and you have those same limits. I know that.
You add an extra rider to that too, though, right? Is there an additional, I have an additional insurance that covers, because it's a business vehicle.
Right, business vehicles are a little bit different, so on the personal side. So that's also why it's so important, if somebody has state minimum and you have a family of 4 or 5 and you're riding around and they hit you with state minimum, you're good. Okay? So again, I'm Robert with Keller Insurance. If you've got any questions, please set up a one-to-one. I'd love to help you and see how we can help pass this along over the Christmas holidays. Thank you very much.